Hey, there we are. Every week I think I'm going to come in there and I'm going to have like my headphones on, I'm going to have my hand on my ear like back in the day. I'm reporter talking to you from the front lines of World War II in the bunker. But all right, hey, we're back again. Once
We
again,
are.
we have not been canceled. We're so happy about that. So,
Thrilled.
yeah. And this week we have a special guest, and what we're going to be talking about is something that's been going on for I don't know, 6 months. Well, I guess the first one actually, technically, and I'm talking about the ClickFunnels Connect. The first one, you and I and our special guest who's coming up here in a minute, we were all at that in Hollywood last year. There was probably, I don't know, 100 of us there, something
I
like
think
that.
50.
50. All right, filled up a little auditorium, and we all got to talk about ClickFunnels, and they found it to be so successful, they decided to do it over and over and over again, including
Well, I
we had
think
one here a couple months ago in Phoenix. Renee Jackson put it on, and she had like 30 people in the room, and all small business people, entrepreneurs. And so they weren't necessarily ClickFunnels users. They were just kind of all everyday kind of people. And some of them use ClickFunnels, some of them use some competitors. But it was a great time, and I'm hoping Renee does it again. But what were you going to say, Madison? And then we should probably bring our guest on.
the way it was explained to me is that Russell loved the idea so much he just wanted to expand it after he heard about the LA Connect event that we all had in a super cool facility in the ex CBS studio, I believe it was,
Well, I think it's
where they
still
shot
owned by
the I Love
Paramount.
Lucy.
Yeah, the original episode of I Love Lucy, the pilot or something, was shot in on the sound stage in this building. We got to see that. It was kind of weird. We were like 50 feet above it where we were for some reason, but it was certainly interesting. But why don't we bring?
He went, Lucy, I'm home, and nobody responded. So
Well, yeah, I didn't quite have the accent down, so that was it. And I'm not a band director either, so I think wasn't that what Desi was in the? Never mind. We're talking way old school here. So, who's our guest this week? What the heck's her name?
Liz.
What's
There we go.
up?
Oh, I was going to call her by another name. I'm so glad I didn't say anything. It's an inside joke.
Now you wonder why we think we're going to get canceled every week.
Yeah, exactly. We totally
Good job for not being canceled.
Clearly, it's totally unscripted. So, if somebody's wondering, I made a graphic for this one, as I try to with every week here, and I made a graphic. And Liz, you got to show them the inspiration for the graphic. Well,
you probably saw Toothless in the background of that graphic, and probably like, why?
Well, first up, I don't know the people. I mean, because I guess I'm not the only one who's never seen the movie. Maybe I don't know, but last time Liz was on, she was wearing this hat for us, and I just had to make that part of the graphic. If you haven't seen it, go to the ClickFunnels group, and you can see the background of the graphic there. And the funny thing is, I went to Sora and I said, "Give me an image of this." I told her what I wanted. And it kept coming back. Well, I can't do that. I can't do that. It wouldn't tell me why.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like, because first off, I asked by the actual name of the movie. Was it some of the
How to Train Your Dragon
or something? And I said, well, give me a cartoon character of a dragon. It still wouldn't do it. And then finally, I did get it to do something, and it gave me such a horrible graphic. I just said, I'm going to go find a picture of Liz. I'm going to go find a picture of this dragon. I'm going to go to Canva, stick the two of them together, put a text element over the top, be done with it. And, don't even screw around with AI. It's just, especially with Canva these days, it is so easy to do whatever you want. So, okay. But why are you here this week?
That's a great question. Also, I want to add on to what you just said there. Sometimes I find it a lot easier just to design stuff on my own than do AI. I know AI can like design stuff within like minutes, but sometimes like I find myself like prompting, and I'm like, screw it, I'm just gonna do it on my own, So
what I found is it never gets close to what I want. So I'll generate like 2 or 3 different graphics, take them all, stick them into Canva, pull off this bit here, this bit there, rearrange them onto a 4th one, and then boom, there's my final result. I just use, I just piece it together. And that's how a lot of stuff I did.
yesterday developed a process using N8N automation that makes me 8 e-commerce photos for a Shopify store that are all exactly the same. And it's pretty incredible. Even product shots out in the wild.
That's cool.
Out in the wild. Well, I guess we know what our show is going to be about next week.
I was like, I want to see how you do that. That's awesome.
How to create images with N8N.
So I'm here this week for 2 different things. So the first one is because I'm speaking at ClickFunnels Connect in Vegas, and I hosted my one in Clearwater about, I think it was like last month. Time is a blur. I don't remember, but I hosted it recently at my friend's studio in Clearwater, and it was pretty epic. And we had about, I would say it was probably less than 15 people in the room. We couldn't do like a huge thing. It was in my friend's amazing studio, which can't wait to do more stuff there in the future. But it was so cool getting to meet like other entrepreneurs. And what I was really surprised with was most of the people in the room actually didn't have a ClickFunnels account. Like they were so new to ClickFunnels, and they didn't know that ClickFunnels can do so many amazing things until we got to share with them like, yeah, it's not just a funnel builder anymore. Now it's so much more than this. And it's so funny because I still talk to people today, and like they just don't know that now you can do funnels and automations and emails and affiliate stuff and courses, and the list could go on. So ClickFunnels Connect is a lot of fun. It's amazing to go to. Look and see if there's one in your city. I know, I want to say the Japan one is coming up. I think that's next month. So we've got Vegas next week. I know we have a big one in Japan coming up. I'm sure there's going to be more small local ones here and there. So definitely look and see if there's one in your city. But I'm excited because I'm going to be speaking at the one in Vegas, and there's a pretty stellar lineup here of speakers. So let me share my screen really quick.
I will mention, if anybody who's a movie fan, it is at the Plaza, which was the Biff Hotel in Back to the Future 2.
Hey, that's cool.
A little fun fact.
I didn't know that. That's awesome. Alrighty. Okay, so here is the page for anybody who's interested in going. And what's really cool about this, you guys, is you can go in person. So if you are, live in Vegas or you're in the vicinity, I cannot emphasize this enough, actually. I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you get your ticket and go in person. This is like a mini version of Funnel Hacking Live. If you have never been to FHL, you kind of missed out on that. You're like, oh man, what a bummer. I really wish I could have gone. Then you should be here, okay? Get in the room with us. You're gonna have access to us, talk with us, and you'll have the opportunity to be coached live in person and network with us and have really cool conversations. And just, it's so different when you are in the room compared to virtual, which I'm gonna get to that in a second. What makes this cool is that you could go in person or attend virtually, but I'm going to encourage you, if you can, if you're in the area or you're willing to get a flight, you're going to hop on a plane, get a hotel, all that jazz, really try to come and be here in person. Plus, I would love to meet you guys. Like, come on out. Let's hang out. Let's, chill. Let's go get some coffee. Let's nerd out and geek out on all things marketing and ClickFunnels and design and all that jazz. So we have some pretty incredible speakers lined up for this event. McCall Jones is going to be there. I know many of you guys love McCall. My buddy Pedro is going to be there. He's flying in from California to be there and speak. Danny Walsh, of course, is going to be there, and Andrew Culver is going to be there. And we have so many other amazing people on the list. And you can go on here. You can scroll down towards the bottom. We have all the speakers and what they specialize in. You can kind of get to know everybody. And you can see the schedule all the way at the very bottom of the page. And you can kind of get to know more about this event. But what makes this event so special, besides like having access to all these amazing speakers who are just going to drop so much fire and knowledge throughout the day, is that all the proceeds from this event go to an incredible nonprofit called Straight Up Abilities. And they help, empower individuals with all sorts of abilities. It's very inclusive. So, they teach a lot of the performing arts like dance and DJing, and it's going to be amazing. And they're actually going to do a thing there at, CF Connect Vegas. I'm pretty stoked to support this and then also see it in action and see the impact there in action, which is going to be really cool. So this goes to a really great cause. I haven't seen any other events like this, like that ClickFunnels has done or that ambassadors have done. So it's truly unique altogether. So you can go in person or you can sign up virtually. So what you'll do is you're going to come over here to the funnel. You could take a look at it if you want. I've been watching the data, and I think some of you guys are funnel hacking this because I see the people scrolling and looking all over. But go on here, take a look, see the info, and then you'll go ahead and click on this, start your registration, and then on the next page you will be given the option to choose, do you want to attend virtually or do you want to attend it in person? And then if you're feeling super extra generous, you can make additional donations on that page as well. And if you go in person, you know, of course you're going to have the opportunity to like talk with all of us, but it's also including a dinner as well. And then there's like a few events like the night before and then the day after as well. That's going to be really cool and fun. So highly encourage you, if you've got no plans next Wednesday on the 22nd, be in the room if possible, but if not, get a virtual ticket instead.
Support Vegas tourism. You know, it is down. So there's lots of great deals on hotels from what I see on my TikTok feed.
And I should say this, speaking of deals. Oh, sorry, Dan, to cut you off.
I was going to say, I've been seeing the same thing too. It's like, you know, Vegas is dead. Vegas is dead. I was like, man, we were there in February. You didn't have room to move. There were so many people there. I don't know how it's dead.
Yeah, that's so true. Thank you for bringing this up because I forgot to mention, for those who are going in person, when you select in person, you go on the confirmation page, we did get a room block. It's a special rate for only $47 a night, and that ends tomorrow. So
and that's not like at Circus.
So it's at the Plaza.
Okay.
First time I went to Vegas, I went to the Plaza. I was up there with a girlfriend, probably 92, 93, something like that. And we drove up from Phoenix. And back then, there were none of the freeways. There was none of the Fremont Street experience. We came over the dam, went straight up Fremont Street, right up the middle, right down the middle of the road, just like in what's the movie with the cornfields where
Field of Dreams. Yeah. No, and then Dan got his show ticket and he watched Frank Sinatra and Elvis.
No, the one at the end where the guy shows up riding on a nuclear bomb. It's a Stephen King movie. Everybody has to read the book in school. Never mind. Either way, we drove right in there to the Plaza. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. And now there's a big dome over the top of everything. So that's cool.
But then you went and watched Frank Sinatra and Elvis.
No, I'm not that old. Almost, but maybe. Even I was old. I was like 12, 13 years old, I think, when Elvis died. So, okay.
If he really
enough of that. So either way, the point that she was just making here is simple. Get your ticket. They got a room block, $47 a night at the Plaza, which is a steal. It's probably half what the price normally is. Mm-hmm. And if you have a chance to be there, especially if you're in the local area, get up there next week. And now who's all going to be speaking? Are people going to be speaking at the event, or what's going to be? So some of these people there, are you going to be speaking?
Everyone here is speaking. So everyone on the image is speaking. It's pretty rapid fire. We're going like one right after the other. We each have like our own different topics and things. And so I'll be talking about how I use Canva to help increase conversions on funnels. So I know it's a ClickFunnels event, but my powerful duo team is Canva and ClickFunnels. I'm still begging for them to have a partnership together. So I'm excited. It's the first time I'll be teaching on this and, at an event like this. Yeah, but everyone on there speaking. So you can scroll down the page, get to see who all is going to be there and speaking. That we have several affiliate focused people. So if any of you guys are like in the affiliate marketing game, you want to learn more affiliate stuff. These are like top affiliate marketers who are in like Hormozi's launches. I believe in Dean and Tony's launches. And then we have some of the ClickFunnels team there. And then we have 2 Comma Club award winners there. So it's a pretty wide mix of stuff. We have some AI experts in there. So good mix of people that are speaking at the event. So it's going to be nonstop fire.
Yeah. Now, earlier you said something while you were looking at the stats or something on the page and people were all over. Were you using Clarity to do that, to
Yes.
be able to see as people were going around? So that's another good little tip here. We're going to get into many more here in a second, but make sure you have Clarity on all your pages. It's absolutely free. It's from Microsoft. And it was funny, a year and a half ago or something like that. They turned Trey Llewellyn on to Clarity. He'd never heard of it before. He was using Hotjar. He looked at it within a week. He had turned off his Hotjar account, went to Clarity. I think he said he was saving, it was in the thousands of dollars a month versus what he was paying to Hotjar. And he just like turned off Hotjar, went straight to Clarity. I even looked at it lately, but with all the AI stuff they put in there 6 months ago, you can, run 100 people through it and then say, AI, hey, tell me everything you can about what these people saw. How can I improve the site? Where are the hangups? And the AI will tell you everything you need to know. And again, it's Microsoft and it's absolutely free. It actually, I put it on my my site homepage, and all I had to do was see about 6 people go through it and go, holy cow, nobody is getting to where I want them to go, because I had this like crazy animation on my page. Well, people didn't wait around for the animation to end, and so they just like bounced. And there was all kinds of problems. I immediately went in, turned the animation off. I thought it was cool, but apparently none of the visitors did. So that's the problem with CSS and stuff, coding stuff. We think it's cool as we're building it, and then you get done and you find out your audience, they don't care. They just want to know
that's the principle, Dan. That's the principle of keep it simple, stupid. And there's a comma in there.
You mean it's not keep it stupid simple?
No.
No,
simple,
that's the way I thought it was. Okay, all right. Get that last part.
But I think this brings up a good conversation. I guess we could kind of like roll into it. So we're also going to talk about design today. And, I'm going to share my process of designing. And, I started using Clarity probably within the last year. I would say it's kind of relatively newish for me as well. And to be honest, like so to kind of give a bit more of a backstory, and I don't know if you want to still show this on anymore, but to give a little backstory, like, I kind of rolled into funnel building because I was working with Pedro Deo, and he needed help with his funnels, and I knew nothing about funnels, so he kind of got me into it. So a lot of things I just kind of learned on my own because I wasn't really plugged into the ClickFunnels community at that time. I wasn't part of any masterminds at that time, or coaching programs, or I know they have the certification program. I wasn't part of any of that stuff. So like, I've just kind of had to learn along the way. And even though I would like split test here and there, I never knew how to like properly look at data and know how to make decisions and know how to design on the funnels to help optimize things and up level things and so forth. So I really love that Dan like just highlighted, the Microsoft Clarity comment, because like now that's a must do on any funnel that you're building out, funnel, website, whatever it may be. Like I love taking a peek and being like, okay, so this needs to change. This needs to change. I just did it with another client yesterday. I was taking a look at their funnel, and the opt-in isn't doing too well, and the VIP wasn't where I wanted it to be. So I was watching the user behavior, and I was like, all right, I'm going to change this like one thing. I'm going to add this like animated progress bar over here on this thing. And I woke up this morning, and the variation is like, leaps and bounds better than the other one. And so, data always helps make better decisions. And that's part of design. Like design is also like based on data, and it helps really tweak the data and stuff like that. So I'm excited to kind of share my design process today. And you want me to roll right into it?
Well, we should note that Microsoft Clarity doesn't just work on ClickFunnels. It works on regular websites. There might even be a hacky way to put it on like an Etsy store. So it is any place you can add custom code. You can run Microsoft Clarity and get those statistics. I think there's even a built-in app for Shopify if you're still using Shopify.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think you're right. Yeah.
And the other thing is, it is just stupid simple to put onto your site. You go there, you open up an account. Again, it's all free. You open up an account, they give you a snippet of code. You take that and you put it anywhere inside your ClickFunnels account. You can put it at the entire workspace level. You can put it there, you can put it at the level of the funnel, or you can put it at the level of an individual page. Whatever you would like, either way is going to record all of the visitor data on there. And it gives you turn that on, you turn on Google Analytics, and you got ClickFunnels built-in analytics, and don't mess around with anything else. And between those three, what I just said is, one, ClickFunnels you don't have to set up at all. Google Analytics takes about 5 minutes, and Clarity takes about the same. And I'll tell you a story real quick. Years ago, there was somebody out there who was apparently teaching all these kids that, before you do anything, you got to get your analytics set up. Now, I have a degree in business finance. I have a lot of mathematics in my background because when I started in college, I had a dual major in mathematics and computer science. So I have a lot of math. And these kids are telling me, I got to get my analytics set up. I go, well, okay, well, I don't care about it. What's your offer? Well, I don't have an offer. Well, what's your product? Well, I don't have a product. Well, where's your website? Well, I don't have a website yet. But you're setting up your analytics. You haven't run a single person to a website, but you're getting your analytics set up. And I was like, that is the most backwards thing I've ever heard in my life. Run 1,000 people to your site with Clarity on and with Google and with the built-in analytics, and then start making some decisions. Because until you get there, you got no data.
And it will hide the proprietary health or personal information for the user, so you don't have to worry about security measures by your somebody's credit card being exposed or their name and address. All of those fields are blurred.
Yeah. So I could just show you guys really quickly. Like Dan said, it's super easy to get set up. And what I love is like you have this, basic dashboard that kind of gives you some data. So this is like looking over the last 3 days for this one funnel. I could see like the scroll depth, and I can look at what I love looking at on this is like more of these numbers where it's like, okay, where's most of the traffic coming from? You can look at the campaign stuff. You can look at the browsers. You can look at the devices and see. So, this one is primarily mobile, but like the CF Connect Vegas one is last I checked, it was nearly half and half with mobile and PC. So like, I like to keep that in mind because I'm like, okay, well, if way more people are viewing on the mobile, then I need to optimize on the mobile even more on the desktop point of view, so I love looking at this. Then you look at the, recordings. I like to watch some of the recordings, and what's cool is we can see that right now they have 10 live, viewers. So we can click on it. We can kind of see like where they're at in the funnel and like what they're looking at. And then you can go back and let me go back over here. And you can kind of like, well, this person opened it up. Okay, they did scroll a bit. So they scrolled down through really quickly. So you can watch multiple ones. And what I love too is that it also shows you, like how long they were on the page, if it was a phone or a PC. I'm so sorry. The dog groomer's calling me. Hold on a second.
Well, we can't hear him anyway. But what I was going to say here is on the page, you can also see where they click, of course. And if you're on desktop, you can see the mouse moving around as well.
And you can also see the dead time that maybe they have it open that they're not actively doing anything with.
Yeah. Yeah, because it'll actually skip it. Yeah, I mean, because somebody could come in there, turn on a web page, 30 minutes later, they're gone. I mean, I got some pages open on my other computer over here that have been open for weeks. And because I keep thinking, I'm going to come back there and maybe buy the offer, that kind of thing. But so you will see all that. Okay, right here, we got a heat map showing the different colors. And oh, hey, she's back. So.
I'm back. Sorry, guys. Like I got my dog into the groomer very last minute. And so of course now he's ready to be picked up. And I was like, I just need like 30 minutes. So we'll make this quick. But so heat maps, like I love the heat maps. I don't know why it's showing the pop-up right now, but you can look and see like where people actually clicking on the page. So for example, the ClickFunnels Connect one, I've been like watching the data. I've been making changes. So there's been various, sort of things. I'm showing you another client. This is a challenge client I've been working with like the last year. And the reason why I'm bringing this one up is because the market has shifted. I'm sure you guys are seeing it too with your funnels. Like the market is shifting. Things that worked years ago aren't necessarily working the same or crushing the same now. And so for this client, like their numbers weren't looking as good. And so I'm like, all right, my job as a funnel designer is to make it better. So, you know, like I like to look at this stuff and figure out, okay, like where are they clicking on the page? Where are they spending the most attention? And then I could figure out, oh, designing the page, what sections do I need to move? Is it a certain color that maybe is catching their attention more than the other? Yeah, like I love to look at all sorts of, you know, all this sort of stuff. So I can see here with the scroll, naturally the top is going to be red because that's where they're going to land. And I wish the pop-up wasn't here. But you get the point. And then like what Dan said, I didn't know the AI thing was here until like the other day. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Let me click on summarize heat maps. And within a few seconds, it's going to, here we go. It just got me everything. And it's now making suggestions for me for things I should change or test out and whatnot. So highly recommend that you do this. It's awesome for your funnels and awesome for you. And this is just like a bonus that you can like add to your, how do I describe this? You can add this to your services because this is like conversion rate optimization, right? Like studying this data, looking at the data, making decisions from the data, and then tweaking the design with that stuff too. So super fun, super cool. There you go.
I would definitely include this as far as like your optimization package, especially if you're rebuilding something for someone or fixing it and they come to you and they go, oh, my site is so slow, I blah, blah, you know, this, that, and the other thing. And you can go in there and you can fix all their images. You can fix any code problems they have. You can do all that. And at the same time, throw clarity on there for them so that you can, you know, see what's going on the page. And one of the things I think Trey again was saying one day is he had, because he's all e-commerce stuff, and he had some sort of like a spinning wheel giveaway kind of a wheel on the page. And if it wasn't for him seeing what his consumer was seeing on clarity, he would never have known that spinning wheel actually didn't work right.
Yeah, they weren't pressing the right button.
Was that they weren't pressing the right button?
Yeah, they were trying to push in the middle, I think, and that's not how you triggered it.
Yeah, it was something weird, and so he had to change that, or he just completely took it off. And the other thing is, a lot of times you'll find on here is people are clicking on images. And so one thing I've learned from hearing enough people say that is on pages, or especially on emails, you always put a link on the image in an email, because people click on images for some reason, think it's going to take them somewhere.
And I'm so bad at doing that in the funnel. I never do that in the funnel. I should get in the habit of doing that on the funnels. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, that's might crazy. As well.
Now, I don't know if I do it on where you got the Dream Big Live one here. I don't know so I put it on there, but maybe some of the other ones I might. It all depends what the image looks like.
Yeah, on mine, I've never noticed that. What you said is true. Like, I feel like if you're looking at the data and you're noticing people are clicking on the images, then for sure that makes sense. Like, I've never noticed people that are actively clicking the images.
Well, you do have 7 clicks on, or number 7 is clicked on the image.
Oh, yeah, on the Dream Big.
So
what are those?
Oh, okay, here we go. 2 clicks.
Oh, it says ranked by most clicks. Okay, that's where you are.
That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
There are a lot of settings inside of Clarity here, and there's a lot of different things you can look at. But I'm sure there might be actually instructional videos on YouTube or something these days. I don't know.
Havey, maybe?
No, not me. No, this is way above my pay grade. This stuff here. So.
All righty. Well.
Okay, so my understanding is you helped to redesign this page, but you have a process. Why don't we go through that real quick? You said before we got started here today that you have a process starting with A, B, Z, and you. Why don't you just run through that for us all real quick?
Let's run through it. Okay, so
unless you got to go get your dog. I mean, we don't want.
No, I'm good right now. I probably have like 30-ish minutes. I could go pick him up, and they're right around the corner. He can wait. He's all nice and clean. He can wait. So okay.
Sit on the stoop. He'll just sit outside.
free pet sitting, just let them watch the pup. Okay. So, anytime a client typically comes to me, I'll take a look at the page first. So I always take a look at the page. I kind of see like what they've got going on. I kind of ask them, well, like, what's the problem? Like, whenever I'm designing something, the first step in the process is like looking at the whole picture. Sometimes like designers will just look at like one little thing. They'll look at just like the logo or this whole, like, I like to look at the whole picture. So, what are they currently doing? What have they done? What are the goals? I like to kind of get everything, all kind of squared away. I put it in notes or like in a Google Doc or something like that. And then I'll take a look and I'll be like, okay, like I could see why this isn't working. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And of course, this is varying on your client. Some people are like, they have amazing everything and it's probably just something really silly that needs to be changed. And some people it's like, no, you need a complete refresh, got to re-optimize. And like Dan said too, Dan, you said something really important, like the page speed, like that's a really big thing too. So like, I like to test the page speed on the funnels and figure out like, okay, do I need to compress my images more? Is it something that's more out of my control? Sometimes when you put too much code on the page, that will slow it down. So, kind of looking at all those things as well. So I like to get as much information in the beginning, then kind of take a look at it. Then of course, give them the quote and whatnot. But then when I get hired, it's like, all right, it's go time. Let's design this thing. So I'll see if they have any assets that they want me to use, anything that, I can kind of like carry on or build on or anything like that. But for me, the first step is it's research essentially. So I always like to research and see like, okay, what do I need to do? So for example, somebody just DM'd me, an old friend of mine DM'd me, and they were like, hey, I'm about to open up this really new high-end restaurant in my city. And the one thing that's missing is like, we need a high-end brand. Like we threw this thing together, but like, we really need a high-end brand. So I'm like, oh, this would be so much fun. I would love to like do this for them. So research, right? I want to do my research. So for me personally, Pinterest is my place of research. You can look on Behance. You can look on, I think Dribbble is still relevant. There's a design site called Dribbble, but it's got 3 B's in it. That one's pretty good. But Pinterest tends to be my favorite. And what I've been learning more about Pinterest is it's almost like an SEO sort of database, like how you can Google anything. Like Pinterest is its own ecosystem of all this searchable content. And I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on Pinterest. I myself am still sleeping on Pinterest. I'm like, man, I got to get like my funnels up here, my templates up here, like my offers, all that sort of jazz up here. But if any of you guys have never used Pinterest before, you can like search things and then you can save things. So you can create like your own boards. So just like, if you had a board at home or cork board and you pin things all over on your board to save it and you vision board that way, it's just a digital version of that over here in Pinterest. You can have secret ones, which you guys are kind of now seeing, like behind the scenes of my Pinterest board. I got stuff from my home. I got stuff from my personal life. And then I've got all these other boards that I have where it's like color coded or it's like themed boards. When I'm working on like websites and things like that, I'll put boards together for these color palettes and font inspiration and just kind of like the vibe of things as well. So what's cool about this is like, if you guys were to look me up on Pinterest, you can access my boards too. So you can save inspiration that I have saved. You can kind of pull from what I've already curated and gathered together. So I always start here just to kind of like see and get inspiration. So, for this client, like,
that, and that's only your public boards. If people are worried, they don't see your private boards.
Oh yeah, not the private, only the public ones. Yes. So
did you put together a board for this client you were talking about?
So for Energize Health, no, because they had originally come to me with all their colors already handled. Like they already had their branding stuff already situated. So it was just a matter of me like just kind of up leveling it a little bit. So I skipped the board process for them. Like this and also like, you know, I've been doing this for so long. So certain clients, like I will create boards for, so like, this one I have, they're a company called Pathos Story. They're working on their thing. I don't even know if I'm allowed to share about it, but, like I just, you know, set something up for them. I don't know if I don't think I have Pedro.
Well, I was gonna say, do you have any boards here for projects that are finished? Maybe something you did for Pedro or anything like that?
I can show you guys. This is probably one of the better ones. A to Z Sleep Solutions. Okay, so I have a friend that she specializes in helping newborns, like, you know, and well, not just helping newborns, helping moms to get their babies to go to sleep, right? And so I forgot what their original palette. I have their original somewhere, but this is like years ago when I did this for them. But this is like one of my favorite like rebrands and processes that I've done with them. So I think when they had originally come to me, I felt like the colors weren't soft enough for like what they were doing. So I was like, okay, let me put together a board. So we went in here and we, you know, we got these kind of like lighter lavenderish colors, these lighter blue colors. I did pin this one because I did like the logo of it. I just like the simplicity of it. And I liked like the probably more the blue than like the yellows. So I didn't curate this one as much because like now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I should have removed that. The yellow is really bothering me. But like you can see like
is there a way to put notes in there? It's like, okay, I included this because this is a web page. You find a web page and you pin the web page in here, and then you can put some notes in there saying, okay, I saved this one because I liked this graphic or something.
You can add comments to it. Because here, let me show you. They don't, so like if I wanted to add this to this board, I would go here and then let me see, AZ, what do I have this labeled as?
It might be because you have it archived.
Oh, maybe all boards, secret. Oh, I don't. Okay, maybe that's why. So anyway, like you can add comments, but not necessarily notes to it, if that makes sense. Because the whole point of Pinterest too is like they want you to just like quickly save it to your board. And so like, for example, if I like this and if it was showing, I would just click on save. And I, you know, now this thing is going to go to my healthy cookie brand folder. So like I have this whole thing here.
You open up that one page, you open up the one page from your board, and then it gave you other suggestions of other stuff that people had pinned on the right-hand side. Okay.
This is one of my favorite things about Pinterest. So yeah, like here's another example. So this one, very, very soft tones, right? Like very feminine. And so typically, maybe it is because I archived this board. Let's go to another one, or maybe I can unarchive it.
We'll just open up anyone. It doesn't matter.
Okay, I love this healthy cookie brand. I wish I could show the other one that I just worked on, but I don't know if I can talk about their project yet. Okay, so like this cookie brand one, you could click on more ideas and then it will bring up all these other like images and pins and things like that they think you would like based on what you've already curated. So like I could spend hours in here just going through and like clicking my little pins and that's it. That's how easy it is. And then I could go, you know, back to my board here and then I can, you know, move them around. If I wanted to be really detailed and very color, you know, very OCD about this, I could like have it like in a whole color spectrum with like the images and whatnot. But I do like that you can, you know, you can like rearrange them. You can star your favorite ones. Ooh. And so like there's a bunch of different things you can do. Oh, maybe you can
remove them.
Oh no. Okay. I'd only edit this pen. This is the layout is new. Yes, you can remove the pins as well. So I like it for like organizing content and just kind of like getting an idea for things. And then the other thing that I do with Pinterest, so besides like just being able to kind of grab things and kind of curate things in one place, is I'll find for color palettes. So for example, I can't use this one. Well, no, I can use this one. It's fine.
Well, you got an orange. You had one there that was called orange. That was certainly.
I do. So I have boards that are different themes. I have color palette heaven, which is like a ton of different colors. Like I have not curated this one. it's a bunch of different color palettes that I have found that I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. I really like this. I share this often, like when I'm teaching or training. I'm like, if you need help with like color palettes, go in this board and just like search, and you can see if there's any color palettes that kind of strike your interest. And then what I've been doing is, I mean, it's been a while since I've updated, like 3 years. But you know, what I'll do is like, or what I need to do is go in here and make more like curated like boards in here with the different things. So, but what I'll do on Pinterest, so like, for example, I really love this palette. It's very citrusy. It's vibrant, but not super in your face vibrant. I get like, I kind of like that. It's a very friendly, approachable color palette. So what I'll do is like, I'll be like, okay, maybe I want to use this color palette for a client. So, you know, I'll take a screenshot, or you can, you know, save the image. So I'll go ahead and save it. And then what I'll do is, I personally like to then go over to Coolers, and I like to play with the color palette here. You can also technically import that image into Canva, and you can pick the colors out, you know, in Canva if you wanted to use that exact color palette. But sometimes for me, like, I really like to play with the colors and see like, oh, maybe I want to tweak this one thing a little bit. So I think I'm logged in. Okay, yeah. So here, this is one of my favorites. I love playing on this.
Okay, and just let everybody know, it is a free tool. I've used this before. I've never paid them any money, and it's COOLORS.co, not .com, .co.
Let's see.
And
thank you for saying that.
She just broke it.
I just broke it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be able to show you guys. Let's see.
Yeah,
oh,
pick up
yes. Okay.
Okay, well, that was the question I was going to have. So you can upload an image into here, and then it will pull the colors off and match it in. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it has a little image there. So like Dan said, this is a free tool. They have a paid version too. I think the paid version, well, they probably raised the price. It used to be like $36. It used to be like super cheap for the year. I paid for the pro because I was just getting annoyed with all the ads. And then I also have like a saved library of, you know, like the color palettes and stuff like that too. But what I love about this, they have so many different tools and things in here. So you can like, you could, if you had clients that are colorblind and you want to like design optimized for that audience, like it has a tool that helps you figure out the hex codes and things that you would need on your site. Like it goes very detailed with that sort of stuff. So if you wanted to upload an image,
I want to see you upload that image that you pulled down, the orange one.
Yeah. So if you want to upload an image, just click here. It's this hidden little thing. You can upload an image. You can paste the URL. But I find that this doesn't always work well. You can take a picture, and then you can also search their stock library. So we're just going to go ahead and add in that image. And then it will automatically detect some of the colors, but you can kind of see it didn't detect this as well as I would like it to. So this part is not as user friendly in my opinion. It took me a while to figure this part out. So you kind of start, you know, click on where you want to start. So I'm gonna click here, and then I'm gonna say I want this orange. So I'm gonna go to the next one and say, okay, maybe I want this like yellow. Then this one, I'll do the light green. This one, I'll do this green. Then this one, let me do the beige. Then you can add another one, and I could say, okay, I want to add this kind of peach color. And then maybe I want to add in the gold that's in the text. Oh, whoops. And then, you know, it would help if I don't click off the board. Okay, and then I would say white. And then I would click on next, and you can either save the palette as is, you could export the palette as is, but for me, I like to open it in the generator, and I like to see a whole, like the whole vision of it. So, you know, I like that this isn't pure white. It's just a slightly off white. So now that I have the whole palette here, I could kind of rearrange, you know, the way that I have the colors. So for me, like I didn't really like how this is kind of sitting against the green. It's kind of bothering me. So I'm going to put the white in between, almost like a palette cleanser. And I'm like, okay, you know, I like this. And I could even rearrange it even more, where maybe I have like, this feels a little bit better. Now I have the darker colors on the ends, and well, minus this. I mean, I should have it like this, but for me, I was like, oh, I like the green and the light green. Anyway, you can move around your colors. You can like subtract colors. So maybe I don't like this color, and then maybe I'm not convinced on the gold. I could get rid of that as well. If I wanted, maybe I'm like, oh, I really wish I had it in between here. If you press the plus sign in between there, it's going to pull the perfect median color for you between those two things, which that's one of my favorite features. So oftentimes, like when I'm designing a funnel, I always love having contrast in my funnel. So you'll see, like, I always have a dark section, then I always have a light section, then it's always I like to kind of vary. Now, in some cases, I don't like to do dark, light. In some cases, I like to do dark, light, just a little bit of a lighter shade to make it different, and then a light again, and then maybe I'll go dark again. I kind of want to space out where it's super dark. So a lot of times what I'll do is, if I'm not using white or like a light gray, depending on what the palette is, I like to use so in this case, I would want to use a really light green as like a subtle background. So I would click on this, and I that's a nice light green, but maybe it's still a little too dark for my liking. So I could click here with view shades, and then I can do this one because, the top one is white. And now this for me is like the perfect background color for, if I were to design a funnel with this palette. So I love this tool. The other really cool thing that I absolutely love about this is, let's say that maybe I don't like, let me get rid of these really quick. Let's say, of course, we want white. Let's say I like this green. I like this yellow, but maybe I'm not convinced on the other colors. So I think they did just make this a pro feature when I'm about to show you guys. So just a heads up on that. But if I click on the space bar, what it's going to do is it's going to automatically put in new colors in those spots. And so then I can figure out and see like, oh, well, maybe like I don't like this, but maybe I kind of like this navy-ish sort of color. And then I can kind of figure out, I like this red. This red kind of does go with, this sort of palette right here. So you can
my question was going to be, is there any rhyme or reason to the colors that I just put in there? Because I mean, I'm one of those people you were talking about who doesn't know anything about, I'm sort of colorblind, but I also don't know anything about colors. So, I looked at some of those and go, that's just hideous.
Right.
Or like, what is this color here that you got on the screen now? I mean, like I said, I don't know anything. You can tell me. Yeah. Do those go together?
Yeah, so I don't know how or why it picks it, but it doesn't always do a good job. Sometimes it knows it, and it's like, oh, this is amazing. And I hope maybe they could use like an AI tool at some point and integrate it where it could like tweak the algorithm to get you better colors. Because you're right, like something like this, I like. I like the blue, the darker blue, because this feels very earthy to me. This is now like a very earthy sort of palette. We got the sun, the grass, the water, right? And I could even make this like, I would probably want to make it a little bit darker of a shade, depending on like what the brand is. And so, sometimes you'll just have to kind of like, I like this palette. I kind of like how the reddish kind of matches with this. So sometimes you do have to play with it to kind of find that good balance and mix of things. But for the most part, like I try to like start with the image, pull in the colors there, and then I already kind of might know like, oh, I kind of want to see what it looks like with the red or like with the blue or something like that. So you could click on here and you can also, see the whole color spectrum on there, and then you can like kind of play around and choose, your colors. So like a dark purple would look good with this palette too, very kind of wine country. And we would make this probably a bit more of a gold if we wanted it to be like a high-end sort of brand. But like you can add in your own colors.
And that little those 6 numbers down there, that's what you're going to put into your style guide and ClickFunnels.
Yes.
So you're just going to copy that number over, put it over there in the little boxes of colors, and then you can utilize that in different spots on your funnel. For people that are like, how do I use this now with ClickFunnels?
Yeah, that's exactly how you use it. So I love this tool. This tool is super fun to play with. I could spend time on here, and I need to spend time on here making some color palettes for templates, but it's a lot of fun. So I'll research on Pinterest, kind of see, I'll take a screenshot, I'll put it in here, kind of play around with the colors in here. Then I take it into Canva, and that's like where I'll play around and do stuff over in Canva.
And the pro version is £4.90 a month, or about $6, about $7 US.
Okay, so they raised.
It's not going to break the bank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's not going to break the bank. When they first came out, it was super cheap. But I'm sure, like with popularity, you know, they've increased their pricing and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, lots of cool things on here, and I mean, it doesn't look like they've. Oh, I don't know what this is.
I think it also says you can do gradients as well.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't tried that. Can you?
I
don't even know that feature. I'm like, wait, that's cool.
The pro thing says save images, gradients, and fonts. So
I wonder how you do the gradients.
Generate method.
I've always just done this. I've never done the gradients. So, you know, if you guys don't want to use this, you can also just like put together, you know, your thing in Canva as well if you wanted to. So I was helping a friend the other day. They're about to like launch this thing, and we were trying to debate between like some color palettes, and they have this very vibrant green on their other brands, which is why we're pulling into here. But I wanted to kind of give them two different options, one that has like a little bit more with the greens in there, and then one that has more of like the tealish, bluish sort of things in there. And so, you know, if you don't want to use coolers, you can upload an image and put it in here. I probably should have checked my upload. Okay. I gotta not share my screen.
I feel like Canva.
Hold on. I gotta empty my uploads really quick.
Do you feel like Canva does a better job of picking the colors than Coolers does?
That's a good,
recognizing them.
Good question. Yeah, no, probably not. Like sometimes it nails it, but sometimes it's so far off with the colors that it picks that I'm like, oh no, this is such a pain. Let me.
Are you talking, Madison? Are you talking just the random generation that Coolers was doing there?
Yeah. When you upload an image.
Okay, here, hold on.
Well, I found that when you upload an image, it usually grabs the colors off of it pretty accurately.
Okay, now let me share my screen. Sorry, guys. I've been asking Canva to please give me a fresh account that I don't have to pay for, because like I have like sensitive stuff on there that I cannot show. And I'm like, it makes it hard because then I'm like, oh dang it. Okay, so let me upload.
Can't you just create a new free account?
Yeah, but like some of
the
the features I want to show are pro features. That's why it makes it a pain. I'm like, man, I want to show you guys this stuff. Okay, let me we'll just do a presentation. I'm just gonna upload this in a new thing. Okay. So you can upload this. I'm just gonna grab a little rectangle here. So sometimes like over here, like you'll see right here, it says photo colors, and it kind of has it. I mean, like this is darker than like that is right there. And also, and if you have Canva Pro and you use brand kits, you can upload the image there for the color palette section. And sometimes it will pull it in, but it's not always perfect. That's why I do like starting over in Coolers and then just kind of importing the stuff into Canva. But the other way to do it is like this, where you open up a new board, put in a rectangle, and then you'll see it does kind of select the colors for you. The other option would be like you just, you'll have to go one by one and then pick the colors out yourself and put it on the board and kind of go through that. I'm really hoping, I'm honestly kind of surprised Canva and Coolers don't have an integration yet, because like you could go to the app section, they have all these different apps and they don't have one yet. I'm like, that would make my life so much easier. But yeah, so most of the time like I'll just manually do it. So I'll just like duplicate that, and then like, I mean, that green is not accurate. Look, no, it's slightly off. So yeah, it's honestly probably going to be easier for you just to like add in the colors on your own. So yeah, and then what I'll do is like I'll add in like the colors, and I don't have a full board, But so for this client, right, I want to give them a few options. So we have like, I'll add in the colors at the bottom for them. It's super simple. I don't have a crazy palette. I always like to have, of course, we always have white or like a light gray as a color palette. Most of the time it's white. I always like to have a really light color and then a darker color. So you have the contrast on either side of the spectrum. Then, you know, kind of how I showed you guys in coolers where I have like that lighter sort of, so I have like white and then kind of like that light shade. Then we always like to have an accent color. So for this brand, it's this is the accent color. And then you can have like a few other colors like in between. So I'll put together like, you know, the color palettes, and then for them, you know, they love this font, Headline Monument. So I'll just kind of put in this document like, okay, here's your headline font. This is the body font that I would use. I should probably add sub headline in here. You could add accent font. You can add like all your fonts in. Then I'll put like, you know, here's what your logo looks like here. And then, you know, on a darker version, this is what I'm suggesting for the darker version. And I call these like brand like mini style sheets. Like you'll often hear designers talk about like mood boards, and they'll design these like really amazing, super intricate, like, you know, brand guide sort of things. And I honestly found, guys, like most of my clients don't care. That like they just need like something short and simple and sweet that they could literally just copy and paste the stuff from. And Canva doesn't let you share brand kits right now. So, you know, otherwise, like I would design it as a brand kit and share the brand kit with the client. So I just give them this. I give them like one file that has the colors on there, that has the fonts I suggest on there, that has the different logo options on there. If they had a pattern with their thing, I would probably put, you know, a pattern on there. This logo icon I had to make in Affinity because I couldn't do this in Canva. And so, you know, there are things that, you know, I'll have to design in Affinity, or if you use Adobe, I'm trying to move off Adobe and learn Affinity because you only pay one time with that versus like Adobe, and Adobe's like raising the prices and doing crazy stuff. So there's my little rant with that. But
or just threaten to cancel.
There you go. Yes. And then you can save money if you do that. Yeah. I did that for a while. And so, but here's the other thing with Affinity. So Canva bought them out. So it's the sister company, and they're working on integration. So soon, hopefully soon, you'll be able to do more like vector stuff inside of Canva, which will that's very geeky, nerdy talk right there. Dan, were you going to say something?
Well, I was going to say then, I mean, to keep this in the ClickFunnels world then, so she went from Pinterest to Coolers to get her colors. Then she came here to create some mock-ups for the clients. Well, the next step is what Madison already mentioned, is you can easily then take this kind of information, go into your style guide in ClickFunnels. And I tell you, I have become a huge proponent of style guides. I think I was like most people's like, you know, don't kind of really, we don't use them. No, start using them, because especially if you got anything that you're building that has more than one page, you want to build them. But because it gives you on the one page, it gives you like your 5 different options. So you can have 5 different background colors, and then it'll show the different colors of the text over it and all that. You're basically creating essentially the same thing directly inside of ClickFunnels. And then it makes it so much easier than when you start building, you go in there, okay, I wanted that dark colored background, and immediately, because you set the dark colored background, you know, you're going to get the green highlighted stuff. You're going to get a white font over it. It just makes everything so much easier.
Yeah, that's the next step after this. It's just taking it in the style guide. So like with Pedro, let me see if I have it in this file. Okay. Yeah, this is a good example. I'll show this one, and then let me see his Canva account. I should say my Canva account for his stuff is absolutely chaotic. I need to clean it up. Okay, I can show this one too. All right, so, you know, with Pedro, like he's constantly running challenges and then webinars. Now he's kind of doing more webinars these days and workshops these days, and he has a lot going on. So, you know, so he's now doing this. So anytime that we do, you know, any sort of virtual event, I create these little brand sort of things for the client. And what I've been doing lately, because now Canva has this feature called Visual Suite. And beforehand, when you used to design stuff, like you could only have like one file with one size and that was it. So I would have to make, one file that was for like backgrounds on a funnel, like textures and wallpapers on a funnel. And then I would have to make another one that would be
for a square logo.
For like a square logo. And then I had to make another one that's like a story size. Then I had to make, like, it was such a pain in the ass, right? And so now it's like, okay, I could just go here. Oh, what is this?
Email.
Oh, this is a new feed. Okay. Ooh, we're seeing something literally new here. Okay. So anyway, what I do now is I like to combine all the assets in one file. And then this is the file I share with the team. And so they have like, the background textures for, eCam or, what I have on the funnel for YouTube, whatever it may be. So we have like a bunch of different textures and different layouts there. And then I have, the colors, and then I have this. And then in ClickFunnels, I have saved like the fonts and the button styling and the borders, and I have all of that stuff there. So, Canva makes it easy to do that. I've got like, here, like the thumbnail graphics for YouTube. And then I have, this is like a mock-up that's on the page. Here's a mock-up that's on the page. Selling the workbook, what the workbook looks like. What else do I have on here? I think this was like the SEO image / ad image. So, now I'm trying to kind of combine all the things. And then this is for one of his higher ticket offers, Kingdom Wealth Club. So I have, here are the font names that I'm using. Here's the color palette, the logos. And what's cool about this too is like I share this with the team and they could easily just click, copy and paste into their designs, and they could design their own stuff that's on brand. And then here's, the background texture. So I like to do like some patterns in there. Sometimes I'll make the logo large in there. Maybe it's an image in the background. And then I have like, different images and stuff that goes on the funnel here. So, for Canva, I do a mix of like putting together the mini style sheet and then taking it over into ClickFunnels, putting it in the style guide. And then when I'm in the funnel, I'll figure out, it was different with Pedro because I never had copy for him. He likes to have me design the page first, and then he adds in the copy, and then I have to go back in and like fix up the design. Most people aren't like that. Most people give me copy to work with, or like I'll add the copy in. And so I kind of already know, like when I'm designing a funnel, like, okay, I'm going to start with this. I'm going to have this and do this. And then I'll kind of figure out like, or I'll use Barnum PT. I'll use the ruler feature, and I'll be like, okay, I need to make an image that is a square, or maybe it's kind of this like really awkward size. And then I'll go in here and I'll just, most of the time I'll go here to more and I'll do custom size and I'll put in my dimensions there for what I need. And then I design the funnel asset and then stick it over in ClickFunnels. So actually, there's one more step. What I do, I always compress the images. So even though, yes, technically you can compress them in Canva, I'll be honest, it's not great. So I use Tiny PNG to compress all of my anything I export from Canva to put into ClickFunnels, I always export through here. And I think this is like $40 a year. We can check.
Well, actually, it's free, but the one I've been using, the one I've been using lately, unlimited use as far as I can tell. I love image.com. I love img.com. Yes. They also have an I love PDF.com that has some really cool things you can do with it.
Okay.
I love img.com. I use it for, because a lot of things, because what you were saying there about the size issue is you're going to have to tell me where you're at in Canva for that. But, so you get like a wide image because you're like, okay, I don't want to have to create another thing. So I'm just going to stick with the wide format I have, basically create a square image inside of it, take that over to IMG. I love IMG, cut down the size of it. And then, you crop it, you resize it, then you compress it. And you can do all that in like a minute inside of that too. Awesome. It's so cool. But where are you here that you're able to see your images and then also create a new one? What part of the Canva are you in here?
Yeah, so like right now I'm in, one of the files that, we're using where we're kind of collecting our assets. So if I
Okay, so
were
this is
on
show me how you got there. I'm
Oh
I'm
yeah,
curious
yeah.
'cause I'm
Let
completely
me go
lost on
back
how you
over
got where
to
you are.
You're good. You're good. Okay, so I have my dashboard here. It has like my most recent designs that that we've been working
Okay.
on. And so I click on this board. So for this brand, I'm trying to keep everything in one place now, opposed to how I had everything before where it was like 4 or 5 different files and it was absolutely chaotic. Now I'm trying to keep everything from, this little style sheet to this is like, well, you can barely see it, but it has a very light texture on the background there. And then like this is another background for like a funnel. And then this is another background. So I have like backgrounds for the funnels. I have, like this is an image that is on the funnel and you can see it's already a different shape, right? That's horizontal. This one is taller. This is a square image. So I have a mix of the different images. So if I go on, I don't even know if this is up. And I think they've changed it. Yeah, it's not even up, so I can't even show you. Womp womp. But if I could show you, like if I were to go on that funnel and see like, this space is a little weird. Okay, let's do this. Let's use this as an example. So let's just pretend I need to like redesign this and I didn't know it was a square, or maybe the sizing was weird or awkward. Oh, we'll just like pretend fake situation and scenario. So I would take my little Barnum, I would click on the ruler and I would figure out like, okay, I need to make an image. Let's pretend it's not square. We're going to do an awkward size here. So maybe I'm like, oh, I need to make a thing that's about this big. So I can see over here, like, okay, the width is 436 by 509. It's a little awkward, but whatever. And so then what I'll do is I'll go into Canva. Let's go to our board here. And at the end of your files and your Canva thing, and just a heads up, your Canva might look like this, where everything is stacked vertically.
That's what I figured out is I had to click as I'm looking at your
Okay.
screen. I figured out I had to click that. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little hidden feature. So if yours looks like this, you can still access that visual suite by clicking this little caret icon down here. If you like this other, I prefer this layout compared to the other stacked one. So it's right here at the end. And then if you click on more, you're going to see one that says custom size. So we'll click on that and then we'll go get our dimensions. So I like to round it up. So I would say like 440 by 510. So I'm going to say 440 by 510 pixels, create new page. And there we go. Now we have it in the size that we need. And I know now, like, okay, I got to design my thing and these parameters for it to fit well on the funnel. And then this is a Canva Pro feature, but oftentimes like I will export it at 2x the size or like 1.5 the size, because sometimes like when you export it and then compress it and load it in the funnel, it looks really low res. It doesn't look as crisp as you want it to be. So I'll typically export it at a bit larger size, knowing that the image is going to be compressed and it will look better on the funnel that way. So yeah, I know that was a mouthful right there. But the other thing you could do too is when you are on like your Canva dashboard here, if you have a fresh file, you don't have anything and you just need to create something for that awkward size, you'll see the custom size right here on your dashboard. You should see it, hopefully. If not, click on more and you should be able to maybe find and search for it there. Man, I'm so curious about this. This just showed up in my thing. Wow. I'm going to have to look into that later. I don't know what that is.
Well, we are way over time and your dog is sitting out on the street.
Our poor dog is sitting at the groomer.
So we should probably wrap this up here. And so one last time, where is everybody supposed to be going to next Wednesday? Or where should everybody be going to today to get their tickets for the event next Wednesday?
Thank you. Everyone should be going to cfconnectvegas.com. Get your ticket, whether it is virtually or in person. And even if you can't make it on Wednesday, you are going to get access to the replay temporarily if you do virtual. And then spoiler alert, there's an option to upgrade and get it if you want lifetime
There's a
access to
VIP
it. So,
option in a funnel. Wait, I've never heard of that.
what?
Oh, I can't believe it. Jeez.
So
Okay.
yes, sign up.
And the room block
Mhm.
ends today. So if you're going to go there and you're going to stay there at the plaza, $47 to stay anywhere in Vegas.
Mhm.
Well, stay anywhere you be safe staying. That's a hell of a price, $47 a night. So
Yeah, it's
that
great.
is it.
Not
So-
including fees and tax.
Oh, and what's the other fee? There was Nelly with the
The
resort
room
fee.
charge. Yeah.
Oh
well, you got-
yeah.
you got the resort fee, the
Resort
parking
fee.
fee, whatever. We all know they all charge that stuff now. So, all right. Well, that is it. We're gonna thank you, Liz, for coming on today. You killed it again like usual, and so you go get your dog, and we will get out of here.
We'll see
I
everybody
love
next
hanging out with you guys. So thank you for the invite.
All right. See y'all
We'll
next
have you
week.
back.